Hi students, welcome to Halfos e-learning chemistry classes for second year. The running chapter is electrochemistry and now we are in session number 32. In previous sessions we discussed about the applications of EMF of the cell in determining different parameters, thermodynamic parameters, and in determining the equilibrium constant, and also we discussed about finding the pH from EMF of the cell or from EMF of the hydrogen electrode. All these we discussed and we solved some numericals also. And now in this session we are going to discuss about the application of the concentration cells. Already we discussed about concentration cells and different types of concentration cells, and now we are entering into the application of that concentration cells. And first of all, let me give where we can apply this concentration cell, and before entering into that concept, just let us have a briefing about this concentration cell. And as we know, concentration cell, it is nothing but the cell constructed from same electrodes, that is, if the cell may be from metal electrode but both the metals are same, or if it is constructed from non-metal electrodes, both the two non-metals are same. But the condition is these chemical species, nothing but the ions, should be at different oxidation states and thereby at different concentrations. Then it is said to be concentration cell. These chemical species at different oxidation states or at different concentrations, then it is said to be concentration cell. And now the difference in concentration, where we can create that difference, depending on that, already we know the concentration cells two types. They are electrode concentration cells, where the electrode concentration is differed, and second one is nothing but electrolyte concentration cell, where the concentration of the electrolyte is found to be different. Clear? And now altogether, when these different kinds of that is concentration cells observed, and what is the main characteristic feature of this concentration cell? Do you remember that? Can you guess it? What is the characteristic feature of this concentration cell? Just it is nothing but E0 cell is 0, where the E0 cell becomes 0 because it is nothing but both the two electrodes are from the same metal or non-metal, and thereby their SOP and SRP values will be same in magnitude but with opposite sign. So the sum automatically becomes 0. This is the main characteristic feature of concentration cell. Clear? And now where we are applying this concentration cell, that is applications of concentration cells, we are finding two applications for these concentration cells. One is nothing but in finding solubility of sparingly soluble salts. This is one application, and second one is in finding the valency. Here it is nothing but simply we can say that oxidation state in case of metals. In finding the valency of chemical species, here the valency of chemical species is nothing but N value. Just N is nothing but the number of electrons that migrate from anode to cathode. Already we know that N value is nothing but equal to valency or oxidation state. So in finding that N value, nothing but valency, we can use this concentration cell. And now let us go for the details of these two. That is, first one, in finding the solubility of sparingly soluble salt. Let me explain this by taking a suitable example. With an example, it is easy to understand the concept. That's why I am taking the example. It is anode is from silver, but here it is silver nitrate solution. It is with a C1 concentration, or we can say that it is anode concentration. And the other one is AgCl. AgCl saturated Ag. This is nothing but cathode. It is RHE and it is OHE. And here the concentration is C2. It is nothing but cathode concentration. Is it not? And now we would like to measure this AgCl solubility. First, let us go for the solubility relation with this AgCl. AgCl is sparingly soluble salt, and it is establishing an equilibrium between the dissociated and undissociated ions like this. And we know if it is 1 and solubility is S, it is S and S. And now once we are getting this S value, that is Ag plus concentration, here as AgCl is taken in cathode, we can say that Ag plus cathode concentration, then it is nothing but in moles per liter. Is it not? And now when moles per liter, we know the compound sparingly soluble salt is nothing but AgCl. So we can consider 1 mole AgCl is molecular weight, that is equal to 108 plus 35.5. It is 143.5 grams. This is gram molecular weight. And now once we are getting this concentration x moles per liter, then the solubility is measured. Solubility is measured as that Ag plus concentration at cathode into 143.5 grams per liter. This is how to find the solubility. Once we know this Ag plus concentration, that is the solubility concentration of Ag plus at cathode. Clear? So like that we can consider the solubility in grams per liter for this sparingly soluble salt. And now with all these we learned in junior enter, that is 11th class, in ionic equilibrium solubility product. And now coming to this, how to get the concentration of this cathode? That is the question here. And to get this concentration of cathode Ag plus, we are applying the concentration cell concept. And how? When it is constructed the cell, here the E cell can be measured as E naught cell minus 0.0591 by 1, because Ag is 1. Here in case of OHE, Ag is releasing electron getting into Ag plus, that is nothing but oxidation takes place, it is aqueous. And here at cathode, reduction, that is Ag plus by taking electron will reduce into silver. This is cathodic reaction. And if you observe here, the product is Ag plus, so it is in numerator Ag plus, and this Ag plus in numerator is from anode. So Ag plus anode by, at cathode Ag plus is the reactant, and hence it is in denominator. It is Ag plus cathode. Simply we can say that it is nothing but C1 and it is C1 and it is C2. Clear? And as we know, for concentration cell, E naught cell is 0, and when it becomes 0, when it is 0, automatically E cell is equal to minus 0.0591 log C1 by C2. And to make this value positive, we can invert this, and hence E cell is equal to 0.0591 log C2 by C1, and it is if this C1 is given, C1 if C1 given and E cell is given. In these two cases, that means this one and this one given, then C2 we have to find, because it is nothing but the concentration of Ag plus at cathode. So how to get it? Simply log C2 by C1 is equal to E cell by 0.0591. This is, and if we require C2 by C1 is equal to anti-log of E cell by 0.0591. After finding this, if we know, after finding this value, if we know C1, then C2 is nothing but anti-log of E cell by 0.0591 into C1. Like that we can get C2. C2 is nothing but equal to this Ag plus concentration at cathode, and thereafter we have to convert it into solubility by multiplying with 143.5. Are you observing why we are taking 143.5? Because the sparingly soluble salt is silver chloride. For silver chloride, the molecular weight is 143.5, and hence when this solubility, that is concentration of Ag plus at cathode is known, it is nothing but the concentration dissolved AgCl, and hence we are converting into grams. This is the manner in which we are getting the solubility of sparingly soluble salt. Clear? And next concept is in finding the valency. Valency is nothing but here what we are considering, valency or oxidation state, whatever it may be. In finding that valency of a metal or non-metal, here we are, for convenience sake, we are taking the metal. From this concentration cell concept, it is nothing but the valency here is nothing but the N. N is nothing but the number of electrons that are involving in migrating from anode to cathode. And how we are getting that? For that purpose, finding valency. For that purpose also, let us consider one cell. Say for example, if it is HgNO3 with a Hg metal, here it may be X, and similarly this side also HgNO3 X and Hg, it is cathode, it is RHE and it is OHE. Here if you observe mercury, actually mercury can exist as Hg plus, or it can exist as Hg plus 2. And now in case if it is Hg plus, X is 1. If it is Hg plus 2, X will be 2. So that X is nothing but related to the valency oxidation state. And how to find? For this, if we write the equation, the next equation, E cell is equal to E naught cell minus 0.0591 by N. N is nothing but the number of electrons involved. Here at anode, Hg by releasing N electrons will get into Hg plus N, and at cathode Hg plus N by taking N electrons will reduce into Hg. Is it not? And now that means here the concentration of Hg plus, here it is C1 for example, and it is C2. Hg plus at anode by Hg plus N at cathode, if we consider like this, that is nothing but C1 by C2. Then already we know it is concentration cell, and hence E naught cell is 0. When it is concentration cell, E naught cell is 0, and then we are writing the equation as minus 0.0591 by n log C1 by C2. And now to make this into positive value, we can rewrite this as E cell is equal to 0.0591 by n log C2 by C1. If we know E cell value, which can be obtained from potentiometer, and C1, C2, the concentration of the two electrolytes is provided, that is when E cell, C1 and C2 are known, then by substituting these values we can calculate N, nothing but the valency of mercury in this electrochemical cell. Clear? Like that, by knowing the EMF of the cell, here you remember it is concentration cell, that's why E0 cell is taken 0. For concentration cell, the E0 is automatically becomes 0. That's why it is becoming 0, and then we are measuring with the help of E cell, which is measured from potentiometry, and C1, C2 concentrations of the two electrolytes at anode and cathode respectively, we can get N value. That is the application of EMF, that is concentration cells, in finding the solubility of sparingly soluble salt, and also in finding the valency of any chemical species that is present in the electrolyte solution. Clear? And now in this one more concept what we are going to discuss is when E, that is electrode potential for half cell. Just actually in previous discussions and in the beginning of this electrochemical cell, we know how to find half cell electrode potential. In case if it is for standard half electrode potential, just we are considering to construct the half cell with a standard hydrogen electrode, and thereby by connecting these two from potentiometer we are able to decide this half cell standard electrode potential. That is one parameter. And the next one is, in case if the other one, that is nothing but other than unit concentration is given, then we are of adapting the Nernst equation to solve or to get the half cell electrode potential. If you remember, first one is nothing but in case of standard electrode potentials, just we are constructing a cell by connecting this given electrode with standard hydrogen electrode, and from that we can get the standard oxidation potential or reduction potential depending on the nature of the electrode that behaves when connected with hydrogen electrode. Clear? And now the other one is, if it is at other than unit concentration, then how to get it? It is nothing but by using the Nernst equation. We measured it by using Nernst equation. Any half cell electrode potential other than unit concentration is nothing but equal to E0 of that half cell minus 0.0591 by n log concentrations. Is it not? And now here it is a third method. Third method means it is a conceptual oriented, which is of measured the half cell electrode potential by using the electrode potentials, of two other half electrodes, It is a peculiar phenomenon. When they are asking for one half electrode potential, they are providing two other half electrode potentials. Then how to measure? Just it is nothing but, say for example, one half electrode is, the two given are E1 and E2. These two are given, for example. And the third one, what they are providing, what they are asking for electrode potential, if it is taken as E3, and now they are asking E3 from these two electrode potentials. And just you remember, Unlike that of thermodynamic parameters where delta G or delta H, we can directly add these two, or even for entropy also. But here, in case of electrode potentials, we should not directly add these two to get the third. That is, the addition of electrode potential, direct addition of electrode potential is not possible. Then how to measure it? Just you remember, we have to relate this with delta G. Already we know delta G, how it is related to EMF of the cell. Delta G is nothing but minus NF E cell, is it not? So with this relation, we have to convert this EMF of the electrode into delta G. Here let us consider for convenience sake delta G1 is equal to minus N1F E1, and the second one delta G2 is equal to minus N2F E2. And now when they asked for E3, this E3 is nothing, is related to delta G3 as minus N3F E3. Now these two can be combined to get this delta G3 like this. Delta G3 is equal to delta G1 plus delta G2, and with this one we can consider minus N3F E3 is equal to minus N1F E1 plus minus N2F E2. In such a case, when we are multiplying on both sides with minus, then we are getting N3F E3 is equal to N1F E1 plus N2F E2, and it is a common factor F. Thereby N3 E3 is equal to N1 E1 plus N2 E2, and now we require N E3. E3 is equal to N1 E1 plus N2 E2 by N3. This is the way how we can measure the half cell electrode potential from two other half cell electrode potentials. Clear? But you remember, in all these three half electrodes, the same chemical species should be involved, but with the different oxidation states. And let me give one example to understand this concept. With first, let me give one example, and then we can go for solving one numerical. It is nothing but iron. Iron is found to be exhibiting two stable oxidation states. One is Fe plus 3 and the other one is Fe plus 2. In these two cases, if they are providing the data like this, SRP value, SRP of Fe plus 3 to Fe is given as x1, for example. And now the SRP value of Fe plus 2 to Fe is given as x2. Are you following these two? And now they are asking SRP of Fe plus 3 to Fe plus 2 is how much? This is the question. So these two are the two half electrodes for which they are providing electrode potentials, and they are depending on these two, they are asking for this third one. Clear? And now let us solve this. First let us write the equation for the first electrode. It is Fe plus 3 by taking 3 electrons is reduced to Fe. Here E1 is x1. And next one, Fe plus 2 plus 2 electrons is reduced to Fe. Here E2 is given as x2. And now what they are asking now is Fe plus 3 by taking 1 electron, by taking electron reduced to Fe plus 2, E3 is how much? That is the question what they are giving in this data form. Clear? And now how to make it? And just you observe, the reactant Fe plus 3 is on the reactant side, and the product in the required equation is Fe plus 2. And first you make this, in these reactions, the data to rearrange so as to get the product in the required equation to be present on the product side in the given equation. That means, just let me give this Fe plus 2 taking 2 electrons giving Fe is made reverse. That means Fe is Fe plus 2 plus 2 electrons, and when it is given like that, E2 bar now is minus X2, because when the reaction is reversed, potential will become opposite. So in such, after this rearrangement, we need not go for this, it is not required now. Clear? And now just let us consider the delta G considerations for this. Here delta G1 is equal to minus N1 F E1. Here delta G2 is minus N F E2 bar, and here delta G3 is equal to minus, it is N2 N3 F E3. We require this, is it not? And now let us consider how we are getting this. Is nothing but, after rearranging, when these two are added, we are getting this third equation. Just you observe, after this rearrangement, when this is 2 electrons are cancelled here, 1 electron remain, and this Fe are cancelled, and Fe plus 3 by taking 1 electron will produce Fe plus 2. Clear? So that's why delta G3 is equal to delta G1 plus delta G2. And now let us substitute that values. Minus N3 F E3 is equal to minus N1 F E1 plus minus N2 F E2 bar, because it is rearranged. That's why we are considering. And on both sides, when we are multiplying with a negative, we are getting the N3 F E3 is equal to N1 F E1 plus N2 F E2 bar, and this F is common factor, and thereby what we are getting is N3 E3 is equal to N1 E1 plus N2 E2 bar. Just you observe, what is N3? In this reaction, the number of electrons is 1. So N3 is 1. And what is N1? This is N1. N1 is 3. And what is N2? 2 electrons. So N2 is 2. Let us substitute that. So here it is E3 is equal to N1 is 3 into E1 plus N2 is 2 into E2 bar. This is what we are getting. And now when E3, E1, E2, we have to substitute with the x1, x2 values. E3 is equal to 3. E1 is nothing but x1 plus 2 into E2 bar is minus x2. So 2 into minus x2. Thereby we are getting E3 is equal to 3x1 minus 2x2 bar x2. This is nothing but finding the electrode potential of the given required equation from the given data. Just you observe, it is very important for logical questions. In 2018 also they provided one question related to this. Not only metal, they are related to bromine species, they are providing that values, and from that one they asked a third equation or third half electrode potential. It is simple. If you are aware of the logic, how we are proceeding, just what they are providing these electrode potentials, we can't directly add those electrode potentials. but instead we can convert it into delta G values, and because delta G values are thermodynamic parameters, we can directly add them. And in such a case, already we derived an equation, and here when by taking an example with this data, we are also getting the same. Here E3 is nothing but this, and ultimately we, after substituting these electrode potential values, we are getting the E3. Clear? And now let us move into one numerical. Instead of x1, x2, if they are providing these numerical values, how to solve? Let us consider one more example with this. Here, now let us take the copper electrodes. Copper is also able to exist in two different stable oxidation state. One is Cu plus 2, the other one is Cu plus 1. And in such a case, what they are providing is SRP of Cu plus 2 to Cu is given as plus 0.34 volts. Just you observe. And the other one is SRP of Cu plus 2 to Cu plus, they provided, it is plus 0.153 volts. And now they are asked for then SRP of Cu plus 2 Cu half cell is, this is the question. Clear? And now for this purpose, first let us write the electrode reactions of these two data provided and the required reaction also. The first one, Cu plus 2, by taking 2 electrons, reduce it to Cu. Here E1 value is given as 0.34 volts. And second one, Cu plus 2, by taking 1 electron, is reduced to Cu plus. Here E2 value is given as plus 0.153 volts. And now what they are asking is Cu plus, by taking electron, reduce it to Cu. If it is considered to be E3, that E3 is how much? This is the question what they are providing. Clear? And now simply we have to rearrange. When the reactant is on reactant side, it should present on the reactant side, but here Cu is on product side. Just let us make it reverse. Then what we are getting is Cu plus is Cu plus 2 plus electron, and here E2 bar will now become minus 0.153 volts. And now we need not take any this equation. And now the net result what we are getting is this electron cancel this, and this Cu plus 2 are get cancelled, and the remaining species are nothing but Cu plus and 1 electron giving Cu. That means these two reactions are added. And now what we have to do here, it should be considered as delta G1 and it is delta G2, and we require delta G3. This is nothing but, directly let us consider how many electrons in actual first reaction involved? Minus 2 Fe1. Here how many electrons involved in the second reaction? Only one, minus 1 Fe2 bar we have to consider, because after changing we are considering the equation. G3 is minus how many electrons? 1 Fe3, and we know delta G3 is nothing but delta G1 plus delta G2, and it is minus Fe3 is equal to minus 2 Fe1 plus minus Fe2 bar, and on both sides when we are multiplying with minus, it gives Fe3 is equal to 2FE1 plus FE2 bar, and this F is cancelled because it is a common factor. Now it is E3 is equal to 2E1 plus E2 bar. That is nothing but 2 into what is E1 value? E1 is 0.34 plus what is E2 bar? It is nothing but minus 0.153. So now it is 0.68 minus 0.153. Whatever the answer you are getting, that is the correct answer. Like that, by taking the data that provided in numerical or XYZ, like that, you have to consider, just you remember, the only logic in this case is nothing but we should not directly add the electrode potentials what they are providing. Instead of that, we have to convert them into thermodynamic parameter delta G. After conversion, we can add them and thereby we are getting electrode potentials. Clear? That is, in the coming sessions, this is about all these electrochemical cells, and in the coming sessions we are entering into another concept, that is nothing but the cells, that is primary and secondary cells, how they are working, how they are constructed. All these we will discuss in the coming session. Clear?